Welcome to the Salt and Light Serve Spotlight, brought to you by itsonlyhomeschooling.com, a website devoted to advocacy, community, and resources for homeschooling children with learning differences. In this podcast series, we highlight those who embody a servant's heart, both individuals and organizations, changing lives one act of service at a time. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our show. My name is Kimberly Bennett, and I am your host. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for giving us a listen. A little bit about me. I am a licensed professional counselor turned homeschool mom of one. I am also an advocate for homeschooling children with learning differences. But my real passion is community outreach and service. For more of my story and background, feel free to listen to episode 1 or check out my website at itsonlyhomeschooling.com. In episode 12, we introduced you to Scott and Nicole Endersby, the couple behind Endersby Productions, a photography and videography business in Keller, Texas. Scott and Nicole are small business owners with a big mission. They are the dynamic duo behind Endersby's Heroes, a give-back campaign providing digital photography and editing services to families of medically fragile children and families of children with special needs. As parents of 3 young boys, 2 of whom are diagnosed with autism and 1 of whom is diagnosed with ADHD, Scott and Nicole know all too well the challenges many of these families face. Providing these parents with the gift of a captured moment in time affords these families the opportunity to see their children in an entirely new light, and it's life-altering. What began in 2013 as the Go Blue in the Texas Bluebonnets Autism Awareness, Advocacy, and Give Back campaign quickly evolved into Endersby's Heroes by 2019. Through their years of service, Scott and Nicole expanded their village beyond families of children with autism to include families of children with medically fragile conditions, special needs, and disabilities. Inspired by the work of another professional in the industry, Scott and Nicole put their imaginations and their talents to work. A healthy dose of patience, kindness, and love, combined with a touch of digital magic, and voila! Great kids became super kids. From Spider-Man to Iron Man, DC to Marvel, Harry Potter to Disney, even icons like Michael Jackson or the Blues Brothers, and everyday heroes that walk among us, like firefighters, police officers, and everything else in between, Scott and Nicole make once unachievable dreams become a reality, if only for a moment. But what a powerful moment it is. Before long, word began to spread of their philanthropy, talents, and genuine love of children, and soon referrals came flooding in. Working with the knowledge that families of children with special needs often face additional financial burdens and constraints, Scott and Nicole decided to offer their services to the families free of charge. Servant-hearted and community-minded, Scott and Nicole tithe their talents to change lives one photo session at a time. Today, in part 2 of our interview with the Endersbys, we will listen as the couple shares some of their life-changing, heart-expanding experiences with Endersby's Heroes families. Let's listen. Well, we want to support Endersby's Heroes in all that you do. So what are some ways that patrons can support you?
Well, it's not just money. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
if you go on and like our pages, the Endersby's Heroes family or Endersby Productions, just even liking, sharing, commenting, referring us to anybody that you may know that needs photos. Not everybody needs professional photos. We understand that we all come from different walks of life. And so, but if you know somebody, like if you're connected to a favorite realtor, or if you know somebody that needs headshots, if you know somebody that needs family photos, if you need family photos, those are the ways that actually can help us. But liking, comment, and sharing is all free stuff that you can do that actually helps us be able to get our word out and what we're doing in advocacy. But just booking us actually helps us be able to give back to our heroes. You can go on, and we have a crowdfunding link. You can donate there to our crowdfunding. So there's many different ways. Not everything has to cost money to help us. Just even going on and making a little comment here or there, that will help the algorithm. It helps us know, hey, wow, okay, you've got the message out. Very cool. And so there's numerous ways that you can help somebody, not just through finances.
Well, looking through your website and your YouTube channel, you have touched so many lives, so many lives. You make magic, and you create memories in such a beautiful way. Is there a favorite story from, and I'm sure you have many, so it's hard to choose just one, but is there a favorite story about an experience with one particular hero that you'd like to share?
I think one cup of mine is Superman Ben. He's had a very interesting life going on, and a disability that he's fighting for, and
medically fragile
child. I wanna.
I'm sorry. You're not gonna start crying, right? He might tear up.
That's okay. If you do, I might with you.
Superman Ben is actually the reason why we even were able to partner with Heroic and our kids. It was just a really special session. When we first photographed him back in 2019, they had him on hospice, and the doctors gave up on him and said, basically, you're on hospice, and your life is now no longer, basically. And
I would say the doctor kind of gave up.
They all gave up on him because he has a lot of seizures and medically fragile, and there was things that they just didn't want to, procedures and the whole 9 yards, that they could have probably done, but they didn't think that it would help him with his quality of life. And that was the whole thing, as a lot of doctors, when it comes with medically fragile people, is that they don't have a quality of life because you're not in the bubble of being normal. Like, you can't go to work, or you can't do this and you can't do that. So there's still a lot of doctors out there that believe that your quality of life is non-existent if you are going through a lot of these extreme medical needs. And that kind of happened to Superman Ben. And he was put on hospice, and they were literally planning to say goodbye. And that was going to be his last photo shoot. And it was emotional. And they contacted us. His grandma found us. It was because of the media journey. We had just hit the media, and we were just getting done with sessions. And she's like, I've got this grandson. I know another photographer that does similar sessions out in Utah, but we can't get to Utah. And it was just like, yeah, of course we're going to make this happen. So we wound up booking Ben as our very last session of our Endersby's Heroes in 2019 that year, because it was like, yeah, of course we have to make this happen. And he's still living today. So that was 4 years ago, and he's still living today. So, he proved the doctors wrong.
Oh,
the
wow.
Mom, that's another advocate hat that, they told Mom that, his quality of life is no longer, and basically told her to give up. Well, she didn't give up. And 4 years later, he's still living today. Now, does it mean that he doesn't go through struggles with his medical needs. Of course not. They're in and out of the doctors and the hospitals and the whole 9 yards, but they were before as well. And so she was able to find a couple procedures that helped him, like having a trach and things like that were able to give him a better quality of life when the doctors were giving up on him. So we have that story through Texas Today. You can go to our social pages on Facebook, and we have it pinned. I believe I have it pinned on Instagram as well. So if you either go to the Endersby's Heroes family or Endersby Productions, you'll see that story from Texas Today, and you'll see Superman Ben and his mom talk about their story. And so we have photographed over 160 individuals with disabilities at this point with their siblings. But, in some, I think every family has impacted in a certain way, even if that family was only a couple minutes of meeting. Everybody's so eager to share their stories, and everybody has a different story, but yet we're all kind of in this together. But Superman Ben, I think, being that we had that story in 2019 when we started this, it was like, oh, maybe we should continue doing what we're doing. Okay, this is making sense here, of how this can be so impactful for the families. So, yeah.
I would say that each family we meet will learn something new and different. Some cases that it would be a child with a rare disorder, or and we'll learn something new from them, and we will pass some share information, what they know, what we know, and kind of help each other. And then what we learn, we can also share on the social media. And
yeah, so we come in and help as much as we can. It's not just photos. If our families are going through, like if they're having to be in the hospital for a long stay, we'll send them a gift card for food. It doesn't stop at photos for us. And like he was saying, we're able to, give them resources and advocate with them. And we try to follow if they have public pages, we'll try to advocate for them and share what we can. Of course, we've got a lot at this point, and we try not to play the favorites, but we share what we can. And when we know families are, especially if they're going through a very tough time, we don't go into much detail unless they want us to, but we basically will share out saying this family really needs, finances, but a lot of our families just ask for prayers because they need prayers for strength to get through the time, and they don't know how to ask for for whatever they worship, whatever religion that they are. They're at a point where they don't even know how to pray themselves, and so a lot of them will ask us, can you just pray or have your followers pray for us, because we need that strength to get through this time. So it's things like that. So it goes beyond just photos for us. And a lot of people probably may or may not see that. So.
Oh, I think it's pretty evident that the more that I sit here and I listen, there's great comfort in community. And you started with this little pebble, and it became this bigger ripple in the pond, and it just grew and it just grew. And it's the village. I always say it takes a village, basically, for all of us to raise each other's kids. And when you have a child that struggles with either a learning disability or special needs or medically fragile, even though I'm not necessarily equating one to the next, from parent to parent, you want to look in the eyes of that parent and say, I see you and I'm here. And I see one thing that Endersby Productions is doing that so many other parents and families would not do. You run to the burning building as opposed to away from it. And what I mean by that is nothing, you're not shying away from this. You reach further to them and you pull them closer to you and you say, I see you. You're not alone. You have community here. And, sometimes more than a meal, sometimes more than if you need anything, give me a call. No one's going to call. You going there and reaching out to them first makes all of the difference in the world, because so many people would shy away from it. So many people would shy away from it.
And I think, seeing when you go through a tough time, you want somebody to reach out to you. And I think when you go through those tough times, it builds you that strength to be able to help others, because you're like, okay, I went through this tough time. When I was first going through the process of my child getting diagnosed, I wanted people to go and not literally hold my hand, but say, like you said, it's going to be okay. Like, it's not because, as you know, when your child gets diagnosed, and it could be anything, even sensory processing disorder, how many of us go and Google and figure out what, what are exactly. I mean, I was spending I was so tired because I was up, in the middle of the night trying to Google, trying to figure out, okay, what does this autism even mean? What does this mean? And then they have a couple medical needs as well, our kids. And so I'm having to figure that out. And what does that look like for our kids? And, it would have been nice to have somebody by me saying it's going to be okay. But I didn't have anybody at that time. And so that's what actually built strength for me, was that I was like, okay, I'm going to go back. And when I went back to school, that's one of the reasons why I decided to be a special education. It was actually a minor. I had to major in elementary education. But I focused on special ed for a reason. I wanted to learn as much as I could, not just for myself, but for others, because, going through an IEP and all that, they're only going to tell you so much. They're not going to give you all of the information that you personally are going to need. Legally, they can only say so much, and you don't know that. And I'm like, well, I wish I would have known this in my first IEP, but now I know because I went through this process and I'm going to help other people. I believe it's a blessing that I have stubbornness apart, with me, and neurodivergence, that I can empathize with people. As much as I hate my empathy, I also love my empathy, because this is what has pushed me to give back. I started the Give back in 2013 with Go Blue and the Big Blue Bonnets for autism awareness. And he didn't understand why I was doing it at the time. And he was like, the blue bonnets again. I don't want to go to the blue bonnet. But for me, it was a connection. It was to meet these other people. It was to say, hey, I see you. And it may have not been literally hand-holding, but it was our way to say, we see you. We understand what you're going through. We're going through it too. And then he decided in 2018, like he was saying, for the heroes, to take it up a notch, because I think I finally connected with him while we were doing it. And so that's my stubborn personality, I guess, that is able to go out to the world and say things that it's hard for people to hear and hard for people to talk about, but I don't shy away from talking about it. A lot of people will say I have no filter. I don't have filter, but that's what helps me advocate as much as I need to advocate, because, otherwise people would not talk about it. So, and it's not just me, it's for other people that advocate. Those people are similar. They have no filter. And so, we're all blessed with the no filter. So, change has to happen somewhere. So.
It does, and if you don't give the voice to it, it's not going to emerge on its own.
No. And people still, they have a difficult time talking about disability. It's strange to me. So
it is to me too. And yeah, it is to me too. I completely can resonate with that. I'm all, okay, well, we talk about diabetes, we talk about heart disease, we talk about everything else. I think people learn, but the only way to get people more comfortable with it is to just kind of persevere and continue on and endure and go, well, I'm going to help you be more comfortable with it. Exactly. I'm going to help you learn to appreciate diversity all across the gamut of diversity.
Exactly.
So tell us about any upcoming events or topics that you would like to share with our listeners, or that we should get the word out about. What's going on with you guys?
Yes, there's two big events coming up. Well, one is April 1st. It's a car show called Snap for Heroes. is for helping with North Texas SNAP. They're a nonprofit organization that helps adults with disabilities, either give them job trainings all the way to kind of social media events they do to put together, kind of just like I think they have like 9 different programs to help all the adults. And it's a great. This is their first car show, so if you have an awesome car show or you just love cars, or you have a car that you can show off, go ahead and sign up and. We post on our social media, so go click on our social media, you'll see that. Okay. And then May 5th is called May 6th. Sorry, May 6th is Bobby Fest, and that's helping with Amy Wish with Wings. So Amy Wish with Wings is a nonprofit organization as well. They're horseback riding. They do a lot of the hippotherapy, and so they usually try to have the disability child try to do it for free. So they raise up money to help to do that, or cheap costs. So, okay. But yeah, and Bobby Fest is a evening event where they're gonna have music and I guess auction and food trucks there. I believe they're probably going to have a car show as well. Just a lot of fun family event gathering that everybody can. In South Lake. In South Lake.
Okay. We can definitely put some links to that too in the show notes, okay. And I will, definitely promote all of that on social media as well. So that sounds like 2 really great organizations that you're supporting. You're giving your time and your skills to. The North Texas SNAP. I know they really bridge a gap that often happens with adults with disabilities once they age out of the public school system. There's a huge need for that. For community, there's so much comfort in community, and for also job training. They really bridge that gap as well, and it helps kind of foster and promote that independence that we all need and we all have, a God-given right to. Yeah. And also the Amy's Wish with Wings sounds wonderful as well. That they are the nonprofit that they promote. You said the hippotherapy. So thank you so much for giving your time and your skills to support those 2 great nonprofits.
Oh, thank you.
Well, Scott and Nicole, the work you do is absolutely amazing. We're very humbled to have you on our little homeschool project here. And so we hope that we can drum up some support to help you continue to do the amazing work that you do. Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, take care.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Endersbys embody what it means to be an advocate. From advocating for all families of children with special needs, not just autism, to tirelessly volunteering their skills with the Endersby's Heroes campaign and homeschooling their 3 children, you would think this family's plate was quite full. It is. But that doesn't mean their outreach efforts end with this campaign. The couple also volunteers their photography and videography talents to special needs events such as the DFW Special Needs Prom, Amy's Wish with Wings Equine Assisted Services, the Circle of Friends Formal, Rise Adaptive Sports, Adaptable Scuba, and countless others. Endersby Productions' efforts have also caught the attention of the media and have been featured on Good Morning America, Inside Edition, 11 Alive, Pop Sugar, and WFAA ABC 8, to name a few. But by far, the greatest accolades are from the families they serve. I am truly grateful. You guys have the biggest hearts and are so selfless. I love how Perrin is sitting up holding his mask in the picture. I love what you all do and the why. All of the photos of our children are so amazing and magical. Y'all have been a blessing for our family. We will cherish these images forever. Valerie King, pray for Perrin. As parents, we are honored to be given this gift to make our kids feel 10 feet tall. There was no communication hurdle for my son to have to jump, or uncomfortable social setting that he couldn't sit through. They were just invited to have fun, and we let the photographers do the hard work. Life with special needs kids is challenging and expensive. These pictures would likely not have been something that we elected to have paid for due to the other support, supplies, devices, and therapies. This moment he captured, this flight they were given, this was the gift of a true wizard. Beth, Pop Sugar Quote, 2019. My children were photographed for Endersby's Heroes. We were met with a professional, friendly atmosphere, and it was truly a pleasure from beginning to end. Our photos are perfect and will be treasured for years to come. I cannot recommend a better company for all of your photo needs. Chastity, Daniel Soros wrecks your heart. Forever hero, Thor Daniel. Looking ahead. As we chatted, the couple noted the lack of available resources for adults with special needs and disabilities as they age out of the system. Looking to the future, Scott and Nicole dream of expanding their photography and videography business to include hiring individuals with special needs, an often desired and coveted yet sparsely available resource in the special needs community. While Endersby Productions is not quite there yet, with enough support, they are confident they will achieve this goal. How to nominate a hero. Once a local outreach effort, Endersby's Heroes is now a nationwide campaign. For families who would like to participate but who do not live in the DFW area, Scott and Nicole offer the option of a remote photography and digital editing session. Oftentimes, families will have their own attire for the shoot on hand, but if needed, costumes can be shipped to the families free of charge. More good news? Endersby's Heroes is no longer just for kids. Adults with disabilities can be transformed into their favorite superheroes too. To learn more about how to nominate a hero, check out Scott and Nicole's website at www.endersbyproductions.com. Help a hero soar. As Endersby Productions, the founders of Endersby's Heroes, is a small business and not a nonprofit, funding to support this outreach effort is secured primarily through crowdfunding. To learn more, check out their website. Ever humble. Scott and Nicole remind us there are multiple ways to support their amazing cause. First, financial support. If you would like to make a financial contribution to support a hero, visit their website and click on the red Support a Hero button. Monetary donations in varying amounts of either one-time or monthly increments are available. Give small business support. In need of photography or videography services? Headshots or portraits? Perhaps commercial or real estate photography services? Maybe you have an event coming up and need a videographer. Reach out to Scott and Nicole. Supporting their small business helps them in turn continue to support a plethora of well-deserving causes through the generous donation of their time and talent. Give a social media shout out. Ever humble, Scott and Nicole point out that there are non-financial ways to support Endersby's Heroes. Help them get the word out about their crowdfunding campaigns, or give a shout out on social media to the community outreach programs they support, like Amy's Wish with Wings, North Texas SNAP, adaptable scuba, and heroic inner kids, to name a few. Put on your advocate hat. Step out of your comfort zone and broaden your mind by showing a willingness to educate yourself and learn about disability awareness and neurodiversity awareness. But don't stop there. With your newly gained knowledge, put on your advocate hat and educate others. In this way, you become an ally. There is great comfort in community. Come be a part of our village. With the It's Only Homeschooling podcast, we invite your family to join ours for life lessons beyond the classroom. Through our Salt and Light Serve Spotlight series, we hope to inspire others to answer the call of service. We hope you'll make us one of your regular stops along the way in your homeschool adventures. Remember, education is a journey, not a destination. Until we meet again, take a deep breath and relax. It's only homeschooling.
Who will keep you safe? Little one, walking down city streets. Little one, walking down the street, playing hide and seek, playing sure.